So Janice and I are in a beautiful part of the south of France.
Hello, David from Canada.
I am David from Canada. Good guess. And we're attending the Circuit de Remparts and also the Rally of the Remparts. This is the 80th anniversary of this event. And it's basically a 3-day car festival. Cars going every which way.
The whole county is covered in cars.
The participants here are just as fascinating as the cars. I'm in car heaven. Look at this.
And I'm faced the wrong way.
Oh, wow, what a car. What a car. Janice and I are in France, and we've just taken a 2.5-hour train ride from Paris down to a little medieval town, Angoulême. The reason for that is we're attending the race of the Remparts. We arrived a couple of days before a rally that's part of the Remparts events. And we're staying with Trevor Leggett. Trevor is a major sponsor of this event. When we were on our way to Trevor's house, I really had no idea what we were going to be driving into. I'd just been told he was a collector and he was going to put me up for a couple of days.
What a spot.
Yes, it's pretty private.
Yeah, no kidding. And wow, you should see this place. It's dramatic. It's not just a house, it's an entire estate and one of the finest I've ever seen. So how many acres have you got all told?
Altogether, it's about 130.
Well, that's a nice site.
And private. So it's all around it, and the house is in the middle.
You know, amongst the many buildings on Trevor's estate, there is this fabulous garage that he's just finished building. It's all wood. It's just charming. It's clean and tidy, but not scrupulously so. It's a lived-in place where he has his toys.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you've set yourself up nicely.
Yeah, it's kind of in preparation for retirement. I can spend a lot more time in here.
Uh-huh. And a man of distinct taste.
That's my little Lotus.
When I first walked in, first thing I saw is this beautiful little Lotus Elan in the Gulf Racing Team colors, you know, pale blue and orange.
Aren't they fun to drive?
Yeah,
These
they are
roads
good
around
fun.
here and this car were made for each other.
Earlier today, I just took it out for a quick spin, and 8,500 this will do. Red line.
And then, you know, he's got just a selection of cars I really like.
Oh, the Alfa. Oh, lovely. Dave will fall in love.
You know, Alfa Romeos, they're dramatically wonderful sports cars. They have their own flavor, they have their own driving style. And you know, when I'm in an Italian sports car, it's just not like anything else. It's one of the most satisfying drives you can have. I just love them.
It's beautiful shape.
It's not fantastic paint job, but it's good enough, and it's a car you can use.
Yeah.
And the engine's good.
You know, they're not overly powerful. You're not looking at a car that's going to burn the tires off the wheels or anything, but you're looking at a car that's incredibly satisfying to throw around corners and to accelerate up straights, and it makes all the right noises. It just all feels right.
And that's another Alfa.
Another little Alfa.
But that's a 1600 Tronca. That's a nice little Alfa.
You know, it's hard to choose a car you really like over all the other cars in here, but there's a 1.6 Alfa Romeo Spider. Boy, it's just a really nice little car.
This is more bang for your buck than you can get until you move up into Ferraris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my favorite so far.
Is it?
Values aside, probably be the one I'd drive out of the garage.
Yeah, but
Trevor is adamant about his collection. It is an assembly of cars that he gets out there and he thrashes. They're a little dusty. They look like cars that have just been driven in after a pleasant afternoon's drive, and that's exactly what these cars are.
I like driving them, love it. And the cars aren't bought for investment, they're just bought for a bit of fun to drive.
He'll just beat them to death, and I think that's wonderful.
So Janice and David might be off in France having a great time, seeing all these collectors and great cars. But you know what? We've got a lot of really cool collectors here at the Guild, too.
Oh, here's Dan.
Here he comes. Look at that thing. It's low, man.
Oh, man, that is super low.
Oh, hey. still haven't been pulled off the road yet in that thing.
Nope, not yet.
Not yet.
Have you been hung up on any speed bumps?
One at Walmart, yeah. I was sitting in my friend's backyard, and I went over to pick up some parts for my 65 Beetle, and I saw it sitting there, and he sold it to me for $1,000. I loaded it up on an old Skidoo trailer and took it home. It's a one-person car, because if two people are in it, then it touches the ground all the time.
Oh, does it?
Oh, yeah. The fenders have maybe a 1/4 inch of clearance, but the floor of the car, because I body dropped it, it's sitting about 2.5 inches from the ground. So this is the 56. It's got a 63 interior. This is the rag top, the literal rag top, which is seized. It's rags, just dirty old rags that, yeah. It's a 63-year-old rag top. It is original, but there's not much left of it. Open the door, you can see what I did with the heater channels. They're no longer there. It's just 3/16 plate and then this bar here for strength. I wish it was a little bit higher, but I've already committed to this height. I try to drive it every day. If it's nice out, obviously I can't drive it in the rain because of the rag top. Driving the car is a bit of an escape for me because I'm not thinking about what I've done during the day or what I'm going to do. I'm focusing on getting home in one piece.
I have to admit, feeling a little nervous driving Trevor's car on French roads, sitting on the wrong side. You think your engine builder's going to have your engine running well enough to compete tomorrow?
He's had it for a year.
Oh, well, then it should be ready.
Should be ready.
For next year.
One of the traditions here at the Circuit de Remparts in the south of France is everyone jumps in their classic cars and joins in a 240-kilometer rally across the French countryside. We're going to be riding with Trevor in this rally. The trouble is, Trevor hasn't decided which one of his cars he's going to take, but he's leaning towards one that's in the shop right now being worked on. That can't possibly be a good idea.
We're going to pop over to see a friend of mine who's just putting an engine together for the Lotus Esprit. It was supposed to be ready today.
Oh, okay.
But I think we're probably going to get the car back tomorrow.
Okay.
So we're just going to see if
And you're counting on this. Well, isn't this a little gem?
One really pleasant surprise is Trevor lent us one of his cars to cruise around the area.
He offers us a 1950 XK 120 Jaguar.
How can you say no to that?
That's
So
lovely.
we'll follow you.
Or could you lead?
Oh, no, that's a good point, actually. There you go.
Nice.
Let me just check out the gears. That should be first. Perfect environment for this car. I have to admit, feeling a little nervous about driving Trevor's car on French roads, sitting on the wrong side. And I've forgotten where the turn signals are. One of these. I mean, this is an early XK 120, too. 1950s, pretty early days. It's basically a 40s car. The thing is, this is a 40s car that can go like the clappers. I mean, they're incredibly fast. So you think that your engine builder's going to have your engine running well enough to compete tomorrow?
He's had it for a year.
Oh, well, then it should be ready.
Should be ready,
Yeah,
shouldn't it?
yeah,
Ready.
for next year.
Let's see.
Oh, look at that.
And that's my car.
Well, you have good taste,
Oh,
and it's a
engine in it.
JPS.
There's an engine in it.
Yeah.
Ah, amazing. Comment tu vas? Alors, demain? No? Peut-être demain, oui. Ah, it's possible. I might get it back tomorrow.
Here's a beautiful Lotus S02 Esprit. You know, this is a John Player special car, the JPS. Black and the gold livery on these cars was to celebrate Mario Andretti's 1978 win at Formula One.
And now this is number 98. I mean, it's an Esprit, which is great, but the JPS has got some great details. I mean, what if you never know another car with anodized gold trim? No, there's not many, are there?
No.
The engine's got steel rods, forged pistons, cams, and the carburetors have been rejetted, and it's got some shove.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
And the car
more.
weighs nothing.
Nothing.
And that's the formula. It's always between their steering and the weight.
Yeah.
I think Trevor's a little disappointed. He's just found out this S2 Lotus is not going to be ready for the rally tomorrow. Now he has to choose something else out of his garage.
I'm hungry.
Is he
Can we
hungry?
get something to eat? It's France and it's
angry.
lunchtime, so
Wait,
can we
is
like
And
eat?
you only get 20 minutes to eat here. I've
we
noticed that.
got
Don't
a
they
window,
close?
we got to eat,
Yeah.
otherwise we're going to starve.
All right. Is that off? I think that's off. No, apparently I don't know how to operate the brake. I haven't broken it yet, but it's early in the day. I'm not sure it's entirely off. I have to say, one of the things I'm enjoying the most about France is the lunches. I mean, they're just wonderful events.
Yeah, we stopped in a really nice cafe. The cafe was owned by a friend of Trevor's, and they treated us really, really nice.
I think they treated Trevor really nicely. We were collateral niceness.
I don't even put my foot to the floor in it. You gotta respect the power. If you don't, you're gonna get bit real hard.
From the front of the rally to the back will be probably an hour and a half.
When do we get to pee?
So, good morning, happy Friday. All the guys here really take their love of cars home with them. You know, Brad, he's an amazing guy. He's a volunteer firefighter, he's a dad, he's a burnout champion. I just don't know how he finds the time to restore his cars at home.
So this is my 1971 Chevy Chevelle. I've had the car ever since 1991. It's all the original trim, chrome, interior, except for some new carpet and bucket seats. So it's a 1970 LS6 454. The engine I had from another Chevelle that I bought. This is the third car it's been in. They rated it at 450 horse, but that was not the truth. They had to rate it that for the insurance reasons because the insurance would be astronomical, even back then. But when we rebuilt the engine the first time and looked at the numbers, oh no, they're 495 horse. So it's still one of the most powerful big block engines they built. I don't even put my foot to the floor in it because if I do, the car will spin out and I'll be upside down in a ditch. You gotta respect the power. If you don't, you're gonna get bit real hard. So I just got my gauges. I got a water temperature, oil, and a voltmeter. You know, I got almost 20 grand into under the hood. I don't want anything overheating. And I got a little pair of handcuffs here. And my son, he asked me, what are they for? And I say, so when I start to speed, I'm looking in my mirror, I see the handcuffs, I know I better slow down or I could end up in a pair of those. So it's that constant reminder not to speed. It's my baby, my Woomba machine, and I plan on keeping it until I can't drive it, and I'll pass it on to my son, and I really hope my son does the same thing.
So today we're doing the Rally of the Ramparts. It starts off in town and then moves out across the French countryside. One of the wonderful things about this rally is there's 300 official cars. And unlike a lot of rallies I've attended, this one is just not snobby. It's all about everybody piling on and having a great day. You know, looking at some of these cars, they range from the ordinary to the absolutely extraordinary. Trevor has finally decided which car we're going to ride in. It's a 1965 Bristol. It's a great big sedan. It's really quick. It's got a Chrysler 8-cylinder engine in it. In its day, it was as expensive as an Aston Martin.
Right, so who's going to read the map?
Actually, I was really surprised because I was thinking, oh, maybe 50 or 60 or 70 kilometers. No, this is a 240-kilometer rally. We're going to be in the bloody car all day.
So, sortie du parking, prends à droite. Si on se perd, c'est ta faute.
Ouais, super.
Right, Jean-Jacques Navigator.
Merci.
All right, okay, go for that, we're moving.
Jean-Jacques David is an opera singer with the Paris Opera, but today he's in the back seat as our navigator, while Janice is in another car following behind.
And we gotta go.
We gotta go,
We gotta go.
Exit parking, turn right.
The starting area is interesting. It's basically a huge traffic jam of very eccentric French cars. When do we get to pee?
Now look what you've done.
And then finally we drive through an arch and off we go into the rally.
Et donc, les baies, bien sûr, avec ces versions...
Got going on the rally route, and it was only moments until I started to think, this looks like complete mayhem. What we're seeing is there's all kinds of cars that don't have the rally plates on them joining from every direction, or crossing over the front, or coming in the other direction. Oh, there's something coming in from the wrong way. Usually, classic and antique car rallies are very structured and very organized, and everybody sort of knows where they're going, but it's a madhouse out here.
So while this rally's going on, there are about 4 or 5 other ones in parallel, club rallies.
Apparently, there's 4,000 cars wandering around the French countryside. It's no wonder we're having trouble figuring out who's who and which way we're going.
Lots of people have gone the wrong way, but we did.
You've got all the spectators coming out of their houses and waving, so you sort of know you're on track. At least I thought we were on track. Oh, the kid is directing us.
Merci!
And they're having fun sending everybody the wrong direction.
So it's got a battery and these blue wires, which I think is good. Basically, I'm the upholstery guy, so I may not know what's going on under the hood.
I'm getting a bit peckish, aren't you?
Well, we've only got 4 hours to go. I had to admit, this rally's been a lot of fun. I mean, the scenery's spectacular. Every couple of kilometers, there's a castle up on the hills. There's little tiny medieval villages. It's absolutely spectacular.
I'm getting a bit peckish, aren't you?
Well, we've only got 4 hours to go. You know, at the halfway point, everybody stops for lunch. But this isn't at some little cafe beside the road. This is done the French way, in a castle. Oh. Are we done? Are we there yet? Our lunch stop was at what they call a folly. A folly is a building that apparently has no real purpose. And it was built by a couple of eccentric French brothers who wanted to reproduce Versailles. So we're having lunch in this magnificent hall with incredible ceilings. And basically that's it. After we finished our 6-course lunch with cheeses and pastries and, well, several glasses of wine, we decided we're done with the rally, one of the most interesting rallies that I've ever experienced. I've never been on the road with 4,000 other classic cars before. It was a very interesting day, I can tell you.
I try to be really supportive of the guys, you know, and Dan's on this health kick right now. So when I bring the guys donuts, coffee's here, boys. Good donuts. I bring Dan carrots. Dan, guess what I brought you? Just for you, Dan. His wife also spoils him. I guess he deserves it.
Well, for my big 60th birthday, my wife went out and got me a 240Z Datsun that I always wanted. Show you the little engine in the baby. Huh. So it's got a battery, a shiny one of those, radiator. Yeah, I got 2 of these puppies, which I think is good. And these blue wires, they go to the spark plugs, and they look new. And one long, whatever. Like, I'm an upholsterer here, so mechanically, nothing. Oh. And if something ever happens to it and you have to get under the hood, which I hope it never does, it's got a light. Imagine that's what that's for. Basically, I may not know what's going on under the hood, but I know what's going on in the interior, because that's my specialty. Now the seats and everything is all right, but I'll be doing all new custom seats, do it in leather as opposed to vinyl, and suede in the insert. Put new foam, because you want new foam. We've got the alabaster original shifter, so that's pretty cool. So usually all this is all rusted underneath them, and these are all falling apart, but they're in fairly good shape, so I'd like to leave as much original as possible. This center console is an add-on. I'll leave that in there because it's got cup holders. Yeah, I'll get it back to looking as new as possible without overkill. See, I'm a little cooler now. I got my hat on backwards, and I got a little sports car. I'm gonna grow my hair long. Well, as long as I can.